I was tall kid from Utena, and I started to play basketball. Like a kid who's playing the basketball, just make fun, nothing serious. But after the couple of years, I recognized that I want to be a basketball player, and I have to work hard, training hard to be the basketball player.
Collison. Oh, what a great contest by Lowry. That was picture perfect.
Oh,
Valančiūnas comes away with it. Hands it off to Kyle.
Wow, these teams are balling tonight.
JV. And the foul. And the crowd erupts.
There you go, good deep post up here.
Deep post position. What a difference it makes. Raptors.
Good win tonight.
2-0 on this homestand. They've won now 3 consecutive. They improved to 8-1 at home, 14-7 overall. And the Raptors come away with the victory.
How long have you known Susan?
Since I was 13.
That's crazy.
So I know her a long time.
She's a great person.
She's a great person, helped me a lot.
Yeah, you take care of him. You take care of him. So I got you. I got you, Susan.
Not a little boy no more.
No.
I can take care of myself.
She just
right?
cares about you.
Nah, I know, I'm just messing around. We're gonna have some fun, you know? I came to Canada in 2012 and I was not talking English. I was struggling. I mean, it was different culture. I didn't have my family around me, and I was struggling too. You know, it was hard to adjust with new things. But I never gave up, and I was doing everything to be part of the Toronto Raptors and part of Canada, part of Toronto, and I did it. I succeed. So now I feel like at home. So the point is you cannot ever just give up.
I was there for around 6 months, and you really find out how much that country's into basketball from their minor leagues all the way up to the professional ranks. They take it seriously, and it's really a regimented process for them. Basketball was so big over there, and the team I played for and the rival team were the 2 biggest teams in the country, and when we played against each other, everything stopped. Everybody was there to watch those games, and it was the conversation would go on for days about those games. So it's a basketball hungry and a basketball loving country.
You know, in Lithuania, basketball is second religion. So everybody following that, everybody trying to play, everybody, small kids shooting around, and that's for Lithuanian basketball is meaning a lot. Always when the scenes I started to play, first year I was too young to recognize that basketball was gonna be, but when I get older, I recognize that basketball is my life.
It was a lot about the unknown, like what is this guy gonna be? What does he look like? What's his game like? Because when he was drafted, a lot of people didn't know who he was because there really was no tape on him. You didn't hear about his name. And then he's drafted and he's not coming over, and you're like, well, what is he hiding from? But there wasn't a lot of, I think, positive chatter about Jonas based on the unknown, thinking that it's another international player that's going to be stashed overseas and try to see if he develops and hopefully he can come over and help, because a few teams have done that in the past.
I will tell you a very short story. Like, I'm landing in Vilnius, and like this is my first time in the city. And I do know what my team is, and I know that I have Jonas Valančiūnas in that moment probably, or officially, the best young player on the planet. I mean, and then all of a sudden, like, there is a big commercial on the biggest shopping mall in Lithuania with Jonas' face. And I'm like, he's only like 19 in that moment. Said, okay, I mean, the guy's obviously a superstar already, and he's 19.
I have a great honor that people believes in me and they put me in that situation. You know, it needs a lot of work, a lot of get better, but it feels really good to know that people believes in you.
You're coming over as the big bad NBA and you're going to a country that has a very proud program and a winning program. You've got to approach that very cautiously, and I thought the Raptors organization did a very good job of that, and letting Rytas know that this is about them doing well, Jonas doing well, and the Raptors doing well, in that order. And I think that created confidence that everybody was working towards the same goals on some level, and that allowed the Raptors to have quite a big say into what Jonas was doing. And internationally, there are horror stories of guys being over there and the organization is saying, no, he's our player. We're trying to win now. We're not worried about what you're trying to accomplish down the road. So to me, the Raptors really navigated that well. And then the organization and Lietuvos Rytas did a good job at accepting the fact that they have this very good player who's drafted to the NBA, and understanding that winning for them now is the utmost importance. But there's a bigger goal in mind, and we're not going to detract from the bigger goal in order to achieve the goal that's right in front of us. So it was a good situation. It wasn't a situation that I would say happens very often where both clubs are willing to give and take the way they did. But Jonas benefited from it, and Jonas, I think, came to the Raptors in a better physical state, in a better mental state, and more prepared because of the way both clubs handled him to have success when he hit the floor.
I'm a huge believer. I think a lot of times guys come out early and, you know, they take the money, but they're not ready. And the idea of a guy spending another year overseas so that his game is a little bit more polished, and obviously there were contractual things there, I think it really benefited both sides, that he had another year before he had the pressure of the NBA. And I think the Raptors had another year where they knew they had a guy there who a year later would be better than what he was now. And I think it's always helpful to have that.
That's the building block. You get a year, you have this goal, you achieve the goal, now you get a year to really hone in on that before you get to that point. I think that's huge, and I think for Jonas it was big. And more importantly, for a big guy, your body needs to develop. You need that physicality that the NBA brings in, and Jonas had a chance for 1 year to continue to develop his body. But from the neck up emotionally, mentally, it really helps a player just settle into the role and get real support from the organization that you're going to, that they believe in you, and that, to me, accelerates your process.
Hey, post him up! Post him up! Post him up! Yo, JV! Post him up!
Good job. Yeah, good job.
Oh my God, your hand is huge.
When you evaluate his career here to this point in time, he's had a good run. When you consider how many games the Raptors have won, you know, who are the people that are part of that, who've been here through that whole stretch? Was Dwayne Casey, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, and Jonas Valančiūnas. Those are the constants. So he has been a very good player here.
He was eager to learn, very ambitious guy, competitive in his own way. You know, sometimes people don't understand how competitive he is as a person. You know, obviously you have to point him in the right direction, but you know, where he was and where is he right now, If I am a guy who is running the show, I would be satisfied. Honestly, you know, I think he's developing, and I'm pretty sure that he didn't hit a ceiling. So,
you know, he's kind of caught in some ways between a rock and a hard spot. I think he's really trying to be today's NBA kind of big. You could see the difference from last year to this year, moving his feet, trying to play quicker, trying to be more aggressive. Yet at the same time, the league is going further and further away from guys like him.
I think he still has to be who he is, and occasionally be able to shoot the ball from deep, and have the face-up component in his game, which I think is very important to have, and be able to pass out of the post and all those things. Those things he's got to be able to do. He's got to be able to become a better perimeter defender in terms of screen and roll and screen sequences. I get all that. At the same time, what's ultimately your bread and butter? You got to be an absolute beast around the basket. You got to get deep in your post-ups. You got to catch it. You got to horse the ball up and finish. And you got to get fouled and get to the free throw line. And you got to rebound everything. And I think if you do those kind of things, it's hard to take you out.
So who's on my team?
Me.
Yeah, okay. Well, we need one more.
Him.
And him, right?
I say this, when I talk about Jonas, I talk about how great of a young man he is. Jonas to me is one of the good people, you know, the guy who has a great heart. He's always smiling, he's got a joke, he's such a positive individual. And to me, that's the biggest thing that stands out about Jonas.
It was a young man, obviously, quite bright-eyed, you know, and not quite sure what he was getting into in his life in the NBA. You've seen a young man that's adjusted well, I think. He's moved to Toronto. He's totally embraced the NBA and the lifestyle. He is developed as a man. He's developed as an athlete. He takes his job very seriously.
And no matter what's happened on the court, where we've seen him not play for stretches, we've seen his minutes being taken away, we've seen the guy actually struggle to even see the ball on the floor sometimes, he could have really gone the wrong way. And because of his character, he stayed positive, and he's been a very good teammate, and he's been a good positive factor in terms of helping the Raptors to achieve levels that they never achieved before. So I've got a lot of respect for Jonas as a basketball player, but I have even more respect for the man that he's become since he's been in a Raptor uniform.
Keep working hard, chasing your dreams, and everything gonna come true. All right? Thank you, kids.